Hi, everybody. Welcome to Literary Tuesdays. I'm your host, Marilyn Alexander. I'm a publisher and founder of Destined to Publish. Destined to Publish is a Christian-based, independent, hybrid publishing company with a focus on literary coaching. With almost 20 years in the publishing industry, soon we will celebrate the milestone of having published our 400th author. And we have authors both nationally and abroad. Our goal is to take each and every one of those authors by the hand and walk them step by step along their publishing journey. Because I believe more than anything else that just because you're self-publishing does not mean you have to publish by yourself. And it's February. We are in the month that they celebrate Black history, but we know that Black history is American history and it is celebrated 365 days a year. But I wanted to spend today revisiting one of our conversations with a legend, and that is none other than Miss Claudette Robinson. She also holds the title of the First Lady of Motown. And as we celebrate this month, we have to celebrate the accomplishments of what music meant to our heritage and our history. And we cannot do that without focusing on Motown. And so we had a conversation, Nichelle had a conversation with Miss Claudette Robinson about her book, Claudette's Miraculous Motown Adventure, not only the book, but the ebook and the audiobook. So let's revisit their conversation. Take a listen.
Let's do this. Okay. Hi, how are you?
Oh, hello. So nice to see you. It's been way too long. Way too long. Yeah. I'm so excited.
Yeah, very. Like, this is going to be a real fun interview. I'm excited to see you again for the first time in like almost a year.
That's right. That's right.
So yeah, I'm going to get right into the questions. Can I ask you to tell me a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm a very young lady, and my name is Claudette Robinson. I am an original Miracle, one of the Miracles, the very first group that was signed on to first Mr. Gordy, then to Tamla and Motown Records. We started out with Mr. Gordy actually in 1957, and Motown actually began in 1959. So therefore,
wow. See, you can't see right now, but I'm actually like freaking out. I'm like fangirling so hard right now. That is super cool. One of the first ladies of Motown is like I'm talking to, like I know you, that's really cool. Like I'm freaking out right now. But you are the first lady of Motown, like that is such a big deal. Can you go a little into detail about like the start of your career and how you like got into that career choice, if you will?
Well, actually, show business was not my first choice of a career. I really wanted to become a teacher. And I thought that would be my career. I had no idea that I would be on stage singing. I always loved to sing. But I thought I was such a shy girl that I didn't know how I was going to make it on the stage. So I thought maybe I'll just be something else other than show business. And what happened, how our group got started was my brother had a group with the guys, and which was 5 guys, and they called themselves the Matador. I had a sister group, 5 girls, and we called ourselves the Matadorettes. Well, my brother actually joined the Army. He got drafted and gone to, they shipped him off to Germany when a big audition was about to come up. The guys always used our house in our basement for their rehearsal. So with that, I knew a lot of their songs because we went to the audition with 5 original songs. And Smokey actually asked me, will you go with us to the audition? And I said, that's lovely, because I wasn't sure if my voice would blend, with just all guys. But I did it, and we went. Of course, the person we went to see did not actually care that much for us because he said, the world did not need another group with a girl background. Who he was happened to be talking about was the Platters, a group called the Platters, very famous group, and they had a girl in the background, which usually was either all girls or all guys. And if it was a girl, she usually was the lead singer, not in the background. Well, we were turned down, and of course, the guys were unhappy, needless to say, because they thought this was going to be their great chance of, show business. But there was someone walking around who happened to take an interest in us and said, do you have any more of those songs? And Smokey, of course, he spoke right up and he said, yes. And the guy said, how many? He said, 100. He said, 100? Well, let me hear. So that's what we did. We started letting him hear the songs. And he was like, I really like you guys. You have such energy and whatever, and such a great blend. I'd like to work with you. He said, my name is Berry Gordy. Well, Smokey was all over the face, like, Berry Gordy, Berry Gordy. Well, I can tell you, I did not know who Berry Gordy was. So I was like, I wonder who this is, that he's so excited about. And anyway, what it was is Smokey always had aspirations for being a songwriter. And long time ago, there was a magazine called Hit Parade. And with Hit Parade, what it did is it listed the songs, and also along with the songs, it listed the songwriters. And so Mr. Gordy's name, he had written several songs for Jackie Wilson, who was really well known at that time. And that's why he was so excited, because he knew that Mr. Gordy was a songwriter. Well, Mr. Gordy actually started working with us, and I kind of say the rest is sort of history, because we became the first group to have the first million seller. I, of course, was signed as the first female, and that's how Mr. Gordy gave me that official title of First Lady of Motown.
See, whoa, wow, that is such, I'm speechless. This is actual history, happening, in time. And it is such a great opportunity to be here with the one that actually started it all, and this actually brings us perfectly into the questions about your wonderful book, Claudette's Miraculous Motown Adventure. Can you possibly give me a quick overview about what your book is about or what happens inside of it?
Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. First of all, the story is my story. The story of the First Lady of Motown, Claudette, and how that came about is in a fantasy kind of way that would appeal to our younger group, because a lot of people are not aware, especially our young ones, as you'd say. They don't know a lot about the first beginnings of Motown and what happened. So I thought the best way to do that was perhaps through a book and gear it to our younger age group so that they would be able to read it and also have fun with it, how it all began. And it was, but done in a fantasy way, so that they could enjoy it as they were reading it. Because it could be, parents reading it to their young ones, and for time stories. It could also be for just actual reading, getting to teach them how to read as well. So I'm hoping that they truly enjoy it as much as I have enjoyed putting it together.
Yeah. And that's truly amazing. I really like how you try and put the aspect of music into a book, teaching kids about music while reading. I find that really creative, and the way that this is all put together, the illustrations to the storyline to everything. I love that about that. So can I ask you, was that your inspiration for writing the book, to try and get, I guess, kids to read and educate themselves about music in the same way?
Well, that was not my original idea. However, it came together like that. I truly wanted our young people to get to know, first of all, who the very first group was for Motown, and our first million seller, all the things that we did that actually became first. And so with that, I just wanted them to be able to read it, gain some knowledge about me, and also about the other guys, Bobby, Ronnie, Smokey, and Pete, and get to know a little bit about Motown in the beginning, the early beginnings. Because originally I was going to do my biography, and it was going to be just totally on my life, my history, my whatever. And I thought, well, most of the people that have written a book, that's what they wrote about. But I don't think at that time that anyone had written about the story to gear it down for young people. So I thought, let's just try this. And it did. And it seemingly has been very successful. And I'd like more and more people to get to know about it and all the wonderful things, that happened because being the first group that had the first $1 million for Motown, that song was Shop Around. And that was in 1960. And even though these, especially for young people, that probably seems like a trillion years ago, because you're thinking, anything in the 1900s seems like it was like, antique time, dinosaur days. But it's an opportunity for them to get to know about it. And also for me to get to know a lot of them. We went on tour with the book, along with you and your mom and I shouldn't say so many people, but your brother was so instrumental in helping to do so much. And also with the audiobook, which was an absolutely amazing project. And I really I was saddened for the fact that the COVID came about, because with that, we had to stop everything, because prior to that, I was going into the classrooms and reading to the children, watching their responses as I read, and their questions and their hugs and their kisses and just all the wonderful things. I loved it. It was giving me an opportunity to get in the classroom, because originally that's what I wanted to do.
Right. And I love that connection that you have, like not only did this book share your experience about your career that you did get, it shared the experience that you wanted to get in the first place, how it brought you back to the beginning, that just kind of connected there. And I absolutely love that. And about this audiobook, people absolutely love it. I myself am a huge fan of it. Me being a music fan myself, I can listen to that on repeat and just have that as my whole playlist by itself. Can you talk a little bit about the experience you had in making it, or the theatrics of producing an audiobook like it?
Well, I'm going to tell you, it was an amazing, awesome experience. I had never done it before. I've been, of course, in the recording studio doing, music and songs with the guys and occasionally by myself, but nothing like that. And I will tell you that with being able to be with young people, because your brother actually was the producer on the audiobook. I'm trying to think, what was it? I was on the audiobook, and he did so well in putting all the characters together, because each of the characters are a part of the book. And it's God, it was an amazing experience for me. And hearing the young people, sing, all the ones that came out. I don't know if you want me to tell all the names of the ones that were there, but they were like professionals. They were not just, like amateurs. You would have thought, had you not known, that they had not been in the studio many, many times.
Right.
So I am really, really pleased with the outcome of the book.
And so are all of us, adding an audiobook, especially that's a really creative idea. People, when they write books, they don't usually think of, let me add an audiobook to this. They usually think of, this is the book and the illustrations have to be perfect, rather than what if they hear something to help them drive the story further. you know, and I find that really genius about the book, actually. And one more thing that I noticed about your characters in the book, how you really put the perspective of the kids into your main character, Claudette, in this case. You know how it follows her, and like how then it introduces like the people and it makes kids really immersed into the story like that. I find that absolutely genius. And then another thing is that how you introduced Mr. Gordy in the story as King Barry. You know, I find that so awesome. You know, the different layers that you added onto that.
Well, King Barry, which would be Mr. Gordy, was such an instrumental part of our career, from the very beginning. And so I would be amiss to not include him and have him as one of the main characters of that, because he's been one of the featured people in our lives as a mentor, as a father. I am more than happy to have him as a part. I gave him the book first and let him see that, and so that he would know what was happening. And I understand, I haven't been to his home since that time, but I understand that he has the book right up front when you come into his house, like in his living room, like straight up, So I think I accomplished what I wanted to. Of course, I'd like more people to get to know about it. I'd like for the world, not only just in America, but different languages, to know what there was about this book, Claudette's Miraculous Motown Adventure. And because it is quite an adventure, it's been one for me. And I'm hoping that as soon as things settle a little better, that we'll be able to get out there once again, and I'll be able to tour and actually physically see my audience. And because it was so much fun, just such great times, going to New York, Chicago, Detroit, Ohio, all these great places and great cities and wonderful, wonderful children. And children, number one, have always been my very favorite, like it touches my heart just to see little kids. And, I have 3 grandchildren of my own who are not like kids anymore. They're almost as old as I am, but, that happens along the way. Oh.
And I find that absolutely beautiful. Memories and history into one book for the whole world to see. And you said that Mr. Gordy was actually one of the first people that got your book. Have you shared the book with any of your other group members or with your family members? And if so, what have they said?
Well, of course, I shared it with my children, first Barry and Tamla, and then with the grandchildren, Lyric, Thomas, and Alexis. And they all seem to really, really enjoy it and like it. A lot of people make mention of the fact that it rhymes. They're like, I love that it rhymes, And I guess rhyming is a better way of getting to read and to also learn as you go along, as because it has like a cadence to it, and so that you can really like have a rhythm. And with that, I think that they really it seems they all enjoyed it. Hopefully it's family, so hopefully they weren't just telling me that because it's Granny, But it's been a great experience, wonderful time.
Yeah,
and the audio portion is even better. I hope that more people can get an opportunity to see it, read it, and have it in their own. Of their own, I should say.
Yeah. And you said that with adding or with giving the book to your kids and grandkids, you said that it adds or they pointed out the different rhythms in the rhyming schemes and stuff and how it gives it like a beat. And that reminded me of like music. Number one, like how the audiobook contributes to it. And number two, how you actually have some like actual song lyrics in the book, which I actually found really creative and stuff. Was this on purpose, may I ask?
Well, I don't think originally it was on purpose, but it added to and it came together. And everyone that was involved, every single one of the people be it the person that was announcing the characters, or if it was the singers, which we had some wonderful singers. I think one of them was Nichelle. But it was just great. And I want to thank each and every one of the people that were a part of the audio version that brought it all together. To me, it just completed the whole project. And I don't think without them, it would have been the project that it became, because it brought life, it brought rhythm, it brought symmetry, it brought songs, it brought just a lot together. And I'm hoping that maybe we can do something else, be it with that book or another. And it, to me, became a very professional project with all the young people that were a part of it, because no one would know if they did not know that doing the whole complete project. Because I think that all of you that brought it together really superseded anything that I would have thought about myself personally, because I wasn't thinking of that. I was really just thinking of it. And I had not advanced my project thought into it going any further than that. And I think it did. And for one, can we hold for 1 second? I think my air conditioner went on, and I don't know if across to your, did you hear it or no?
No, we can't hear it at all.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
So yeah, and you said that this project, it went way further than you did. And being part of the crew that helped create the audiobook, I am very blessed to hear you saying all of these great things, because we did put a lot of work into it, and we are so proud of the results. With all of this being said, do you have any plans for a new project in the future, or to try and make another book, another audiobook, another this, that, the third?
Well, I had lots of great ideas that I'd like to do as far as working again on perhaps part 2 of the children's book, because believe it or not, everybody wants to know who is the witch.
Yes.
You would be surprised the names that they come up with as who the witch is. And I'm like, no, I said, remember, I'm saying this is a fantasy. It's not a real live person that's a witch. All the people I know are amazing and wonderful. Nobody would be a witch like that. So, and I also do want to really finish my biography. And I'd also like to do a picture book. So I have a lot of plans ahead to do more. I thought I was going to be doing a lot during the pandemic, but I didn't get as much accomplished as I thought I would, because it started out, I thought the pandemic, I don't know about anybody else, but I thought it was only going to be 2 weeks. So I was planning for that, just the 2 weeks. Well, as we know, it's been, 2 years basically, or close to that. And it has been difficult in a number of areas to kind of keep your energy up, make sure that you don't become depressed or idle, or, just so that you energize and just feel good. Be grateful and thankful, because for all of us to still be here, to be alive and well, is such a great blessing. I mean, I cannot ask for better than that, and I don't know of anyone else that can. And so we all just come together and pray, thank God that, we're still here, and that we're able to transmit our thoughts and our ideas, and whatever we haven't accomplished, I'm sure that we'll be able to do that in the coming near future. At least I look forward to that.
See, most definitely, like you said, 2020 through 2021, it's been absolutely crazy, in a pandemic, which we thought would be from this time to April, whatever, and it's now almost 2022 and we're still going, but definitely doing things like this, putting yourself in a project like this that may become more, I feel like that definitely helps not only you, but the other people that you expose it to. So like with this book, most definitely with the audiobook, you know, giving this to kids, it gives them almost a refreshing breath. You know, you don't see children's books with audiobooks like at all anymore. And like the different creative aspects you put into it, not only in the book, but also in the audiobook, you know, it just gives kids a fresh breath of air, you know, seeing something for the first time. And I love that you almost made like a new invention almost in this really crazy quarantine. It's almost like a new invention of writing, a new way of writing. And it's like you added your own Motown spice, you know, to audiobooks. And I absolutely love it. So I find that absolutely amazing. With this, I have a fun question for you.
Okay.
On the back of the book, there's a picture of you and the Miracles. Do you remember what song you were singing in this picture?
I believe that picture was, I want to be correct on this. It seems to me that the song may have been Ain't It Baby? The song Ain't It Baby was, it was recorded right after, I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to have to check my facts, you know, do my fact checking and make sure that I'm telling you the right song. If it's not, I'm going to call you back and say, yeah, wasn't that song? Because I can tell by the, you know, the choreography. But as I was looking at it, as you were showing the book, I never thought of that. That's a great question. I'm going to make sure that I look at that a little closer so I can see for sure.
Because I find it like such an iconic picture. You know, you in the group, you all look like you're having a lot of fun. You know, you look absolutely beautiful as always. It's just so timeless, you know, and it's a great add to the book as well, you know. So yeah, that was quick.
I was going to say, well, thank you so much, because you have just been, you said so many great things until my heart is like, you know, getting larger and larger. Like, oh my goodness, is it all of that? Hey, thank you, thank you. But I have to say that all the people in the project, every single one, I didn't know if I should name them all, but I will. I know they know who they are. And every single person was absolutely just terrific. And I'm saying that because they did something that I hadn't even expected, because as you said, it was like brand new, and it still is new, that they are all, you know, they came together, they brought the project, and not only did they bring it, they really brought it, because the singing, the speaking, all of it is something that every person should have in their home. Everybody should have that audio version, because it's really unique, and it's something that I think they all would enjoy. And I'm not just saying that because it's my project, but I think because it came together so well, I am very proud to call it a project about me.
See, and once again, as a person who was on that crew of the audiobook.
Hey. Well, they will have to know and see what you did, what your brother did, and all the other wonderful young people that, you know, were playing instruments. I mean, it was a great, it is, I shouldn't say it was, it is a terrific project. So go out, purse it, listen to it, whatever you have to do, because it's really nice, really nice. And I'm grateful and thankful for all the crew and all the cast that did such an outstanding job. Not just a good job, an outstanding job. And I'm just, my only regret is that we had to really basically shut down. And so no one has had the opportunity to get to really, you know, hear it and know what it's all about. But they will, because the pandemic is slowing down, at least I think so, and hope so. So we look forward to having it out there and people going to their stores. And you don't even have to go to a store. I'm saying stores like old days. You don't have to do that anymore. You just go on the internet and there it is. See, in my day, you had to go and purchase a record. You had to, like, you know, make sure they had it, and maybe they didn't have it this week, they'd have it next week. But now it's immediate. You can just have it and just truly enjoy it. And as you enjoy it, let me know, and it's um, it's a wonderful project. I know it seems like I'm tooting my own horn, but it's not just it, even though it's about me, it's also about the wonderful people that helped to put it together. And as Michelle was saying, in terms of the young people, you have to get to know who they are. And if you get the audio version, you have an opportunity to see all these young people that have done such an outstanding and great job. And I have to say, once again, thank you for just being who you are. And the world actually needs to know how talented and brilliant all of you, the crew, are.
Miss Claudette, you have me in tears right now. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
We definitely want to thank you, not only for your contributions, but literally for the inspiration behind. See, most definitely, like you said, 2020 through 2021, it's been absolutely crazy in a pandemic, which we thought would be.
All the crew and all the cast that did such an outstanding job, not just a good job, an outstanding job. And my only regret is that we had to really basically shut down. And so no one has had the opportunity to get to really, hear it and know what it's all about. But they will, because the pandemic is slowing down, at least I think so, and hope so. So we look forward to having it out there and people going to their stores, and they don't even have to go to a store. I'm saying stores like old days. You don't have to do that anymore. You just go on the internet and there it is. See, in my day, you had to go and purchase a record. You had to make sure they had it, and maybe they didn't have it this week, they'd have it next week. But now it's immediate. You can just have it and just truly enjoy it. And as you enjoy it, let me know. And it's a wonderful project. I know it seems like I'm tooting my own horn, but it's not just it, even though it's about me, it's also about the wonderful people that helped to put it together. And as Michelle was saying, in terms of the young people, you have to get to know who they are. And if you get the audio version, you have an opportunity to see all these young people that have done such an outstanding and great job. And I have to say, once again, thank you for just being who you are. And the world actually needs to know how talented and brilliant all of you, the crew, are.
See, Miss Claudette, you have me in tears right now. Oh my gosh. We definitely want to thank you, not only for your contributions, but literally for the inspiration behind the whole thing. Your career inspired what went into the audiobook, the sound of it, the words to it, the voice to it, every single thing was like based on you. And we want to thank you for your awesomeness, like your existence, because that made it happen. And then, yeah.
I have to say thank you. And thank you so much for having me, because it's an opportunity I get that I can speak to young people. I am super excited. As I said before, young people are really my heart. I love them dearly. And I hope that we get an opportunity to get together once again very soon. Maybe we can do something with the audiobook that will allow the other people to know exactly what we're speaking of and to hear your beautiful voice.
Thank you. So now we're closing out. I have one final question for you. If you have one thing to say to all of the kids my age, older, younger, that maybe want to start doing what you did, grab a career that's really for them or not for them in this case, what would you say for them to get started and go out?
Well, my first thing is that consistency. If you want to do something, be it show business or otherwise, it's practice, practice, practice. Always practice what you want to do. And you will find that the more you practice, the better you'll become at it. And never give up. If that's your goal, your dream, if it's your heart, if it's your passion, go for it. Just continue on that path. If someone tells you like, no, you're not good enough or you can't do that, don't believe them. Believe in yourself, and as I always tell everyone, love yourself. Just know that you have what it takes to do what you want to do with enough practice and enough, keep dreaming, keep believing. I still believe in miracles. So for that, it's like, for them to continue on that path as well. And I think that they cannot go wrong. They'll be successful at what it is that they desire to do. It's like some people say, well, I want to be a scientist. Well, you have to have goals. You have to study and practice your math and all your science studies and all of that. So whatever it is that you want to do, you have to determine that with enough practice, you can do it.
See, and that's it. You heard it from the legend, the myth, the awesomeness herself, the wonderful Miss Claudette Robinson. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I really appreciate it, and I had such an amazing time.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Michelle. You've been a wonderful host. I love it. Thank you. Thank you again for having me. God bless you and your family.
You as well. So this has been Literary Tuesdays. My name is Nichelle Roy. You all can look out for Ms. Robinson's book on Amazon, Claudette's Miraculous Motown Adventure. And I want to thank you all for viewing this week's interview, and I'll see you guys next week. So y'all need to go buy this book. It is absolutely amazing. Tune into that audiobook. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Claudette's Miraculous Motown Adventure. Narrated by Claudette Robinson. Little Claudette read by Jordan May. Daddy and King read by Louis Price. Vocal arrangement by Louis Price. Song lyrics written by Michelle Joy. Lead vocalist Maggie Fuchs. Keyboard and strings by Jeremiah Lawrence. Electric guitar and music score by Benjamin Bird. Drums by Emmanuel Boyd. Book produced by Claudette Robinson and Denise Pendleton. Audiobook produced by Joseph D. Alexander. This has been a J-Star production.